James Jude Courtney, the actor who played Michael Myers in Halloween Ends, has revealed his favorite kill in the franchise. Following the last installment in the Halloween franchise, fans have been wondering what some of the cast members thought about it overall. Courtney revealed his thoughts in an interview with Screen Rant recently. In this video, let's look at what we know about it, as well as a theory about his character's 4-year survival. First off, James reveals his favorite kill from the franchise. There are definitely a lot of kills to choose from, especially since we have 13 films in total. It's hard to even recall all the gory deaths because there are so many. Michael Myers is considered an iconic horror villain because of how many people he has murdered along the way. Even though the exact number is up for debate, it is said that he has killed over 100 people throughout the franchise. Myers' first kill was his older sister Judith when he was 6 years old. From then onwards, he has been on a rampage, and suffice it to say, he is the personification of a murderous rampage who takes his work very seriously. So what's the actor's favorite kill? He said that Bob's death in 1978 is his favorite kill among all the Halloween movies. To him, it was very original and powerful. In order to reenact it, he was in mission mode the entire time. James added by saying that he felt like a different person every time he assumed the character of the villain. This especially happened while filming when he had his mask on. Still, it's surprising to hear that the Bob kill is his favorite. With so many to choose from, fans certainly expected something else. Next up, how the actor prepared for all his kills. James revealed that he started working in the industry as a stuntman. He mentioned that he used breathing techniques while playing the character of Michael Myers. This not only helped him fully become the character, but also helped him get out of the role later, so he didn't take the mentality home with him. These techniques also allowed Courtney to bring the same brutality to the alleged supernatural murderer across all films. He even went to jungles and worked with shamans. Apparently, this spiritual experience got him to the point free of judgment, which allowed him to play the character to his full potential. Given how personally he prepared for the role, it's fair to assume that there's truly something to the Bob kill of the original Halloween film. Obviously, there must be a reason it's his favorite. There's something truly eerie about the kill, and he has seemingly done everything he could to bring that energy to his return to Halloween Ends and the entire reboot trilogy. It's sad to see the trilogy come to an end, but at least he was able to reenact his favorite kill. Moving on, how Michael Myers' survival links to a supernatural theory. Michael's ability to survive in the time leading into Halloween Ends lends credit to Laurie Strode's theory about him. While the latest film doesn't dive into his backstory, it doesn't hint at his almost supernatural ability to survive seemingly fatal attacks. Laurie says that he seems to transcend with every kill, and her statement seems to be symbolic in nature, but it might actually be literal. When he stabs Doug after the cop is lured into the sewers by Corey, he seems to be recharging after every stab. At the beginning of the film, he's weak, but as the film progresses and he kills more people, he becomes stronger somehow. If he can genuinely transcend after every kill, this would explain how he survived after being jumped and attacked by various citizens of Haddonfield in the previous films. This in turn aligns with theories around some of his supernatural abilities. Following the events of Halloween Kills, we know that he is taken to the sewers. With his house demolished and paranoia spreading through Haddonfield, he has been staying away from the public. It's said that there have been disappearances over the past 4 years, with the revelation by a homeless man that Michael himself is the reason. These kills are likely what's keeping him alive. His weakened state when Corey stumbles upon him also makes sense because he has been killing less than necessary. Speaking of theories, does killing somehow keep him alive? The question of whether killing keeps Michael alive has never actually been answered, but it is something to think about. The trilogy makes a point to reiterate that he's just a man occasionally, but never fully details his almost supernatural ability to survive. While he does seem to experience a jolt of life after stabbing Officer Mulaney, it's more likely that he enjoys killing. The homeless man living near the sewer helps him stay alive, possibly in exchange for his own safety. With Corey starting his killing spree, he likely feels comfortable going after Laurie again. So basically, his thirst for revenge is what keeps his drive to live going. This drive is also highlighted in his latest battle with Laurie, as no matter what she did to him, his will to kill her never faded. At the end of Halloween Ends, Laurie leads a procession for him by parading his dead body through the streets to show that the boogeyman is just human. The display is symbolic for the townspeople, indicating that the nightmare is finally over. Placing his body in a metal chipper signified he was not immortal, giving him a definitive end. This suggests that for all his seemingly supernatural abilities, he was still a real person with real weaknesses. Plus, how Haddonfield can finally heal after Michael's death. In the 4 years following Michael's disappearance on Halloween Kills, the town of Haddonfield descended into a wave of paranoia, anger, and distress. The final movie depicted several members of the town's community as having died by suicide as a result of the fear that infected the town after his killing spree in 2018. Because of his part in the death of a child, Corey's also seen by many people as a killer, and much of the community's anger toward Michael was instead directed toward him. In the absence of Michael, he was depicted as a scapegoat for Haddonfield. Now that his death is definitive at the end of the movie, Haddonfield can finally move on as a community. Halloween Ends depicted the survivors of Michael's slaughters all coming together in a makeshift procession to ensure that he stays dead through the public destruction of his body in an industrial shredder. It's an important symbolic scene that shows the atmosphere of fear which had plagued Haddonfield has finally been erased. Thus, the town finally has the catharsis of Michael's death in Halloween Ends that evaded them in the previous film. Also, what critics and audiences thought about it. Some critics believe that almost every Halloween sequel has been subpar. Some are more fun than others, but none have equaled John Carpenter's 1978 original in terms of style and sleaziness. What sets apart the latter three is the Nolan-esque pretension that they're about more than just finding new ways to poke holes in people. Trauma, radicalization, and the origins of evil are central themes. At the end of Halloween, we learn that the stories we tell aren't always true, and that by telling them, we create our own oppressors. The idea that Michael Myers is simply a man in a mask, which, considering his raw strength and indestructibility in practically every circumstance, is like calling Donald Trump merely a politician in a baggy suit and particularly lacking in detail. A minority of locals in Haddonfield believe Laurie is to blame for Michael's recent spree of terror since she summoned him. Even though it's not fair, Laurie still feels bad and can worry about it some more. Lastly, how Halloween Ends performed at the US box office. This movie may not have entirely won over critics and audiences, but in terms of financials, it's off to a pretty solid start. As reported by Variety, its opening weekend amounted to $81 million globally, with North America contributing the most with $41.3 million. This is a little over $11 million less than what last year's Halloween Kills opened with. Despite this, it makes it the first movie in North America to open above $40 million since Nope back in July. Projections initially pegged the film with having a domestic opening around the $50 to $55 million range, but those didn't take the film's release method into account. Like last year's Halloween Kills, NBC Universal released this one both in theaters and on the paid tiers of its Peacock streaming service for 2 months. By comparison, and according to third-party metric site Samba TV, last year's film had 2.8 million viewers on the service during its starting run, so make of that what you will. Without hard numbers, it's difficult to tell how this one stacks up in comparison and see what kind of impact that had on its box office take. And that's a wrap for this video. What did you think of James Jude Courtney revealing his favorite kill from the franchise? And what's yours? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.